Well, I think we can go anywhere with this because there doesn't seem to be anything. There's no end point because it continues on into episode 4.
I mean, overall, I enjoyed this episode. Apart from again the obvious Raffi scenes that crept in, and Worf being a bit more violent than what he usually was or is or whatever. But I guess we'll just forgive that just for the sake of it's just modern day writing, and they need to be a bit more violent, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Oh, you don't sound happy, Adam.
Well, not with those scenes. Those scenes are the ones that I'm like, it's very jarring. You go from like the main plot, and then you go from that, and it's like, yeah, we're back with this again.
I thought you were just a casual viewer.
I am a casual viewer, but I don't know, the scenes just suck. It's just like they do. You couldn't even tail somebody. For fuck's sake.
Raffi is not a very good character.
Like Worf's like, he's over there, you're losing him. He's like, I've lost him, but he's there. Like, okay. It's like, oh, God's sake.
Michael Dorn, who plays Worf, is like 70 years old.
Is he? Wow.
Yeah. So
he looks incredible.
Yeah, but it probably explains why he didn't do any running in that chase scene. And it gives Worf a sort of a veneer or a feeling of like he's so clever now. When Neo fights Morpheus in the Matrix, and in the beginning, Morpheus is so mysterious and he can do certain things that are unexplainable, like jump from one scene to another scene or setting to another setting. And then over the course of the movie, he's just a normal person. So he loses that mysticism surrounding him or the energy. Worf has that kind of feel for me, where because of his age, and they've got to make him look cool, because he was never really, air quotes, cool in the same way that they're celebrating him now. So you've got to add something back in to show you how cool he was, but he never was.
Yeah.
But that's not an insult to him because he's still a great character, and I like everything he's done. I think he's one of the most important characters across two TV shows. But he was just a person, and now he's this Morpheus-esque quality to him that you encounter before Neo gets into the Matrix.
Yeah, I liked the way he introduced himself as well.
Did you? Oh, okay.
It was corny as hell. It was corny as hell, but it was just funny. And then he asked for, "Do you want a tea at the end of it?"
Yeah, it was corny. I just kept thinking this is Game of Thrones.
Did you notice that Seven had a model of Voyager in her quarters? Just randomly, I just saw that.
Everyone's got model ships of their previous postings on these ships.
Well, it's a good little nod.
It's like saying breathing is so helpful at this point because everyone's got ships. The bar's got ships. The ships have got ships.
It's a good little nod. Fuck you. All right.
It's like the easiest nod. The easiest nod. If anything, why doesn't she have a ship model of the Raven rather than Voyager?
No. Why don't she have a fucking cube in her room, eh?
A cube, right? Why not a cube? Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Big black repainted Rubik's cube. Right.
Yeah,
it's when she was on the ball cube. that shit is just fluff to me. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Even Picard, in episode 4, he's in a room full of ships. There's like more model ships in the fucking ready room. The ship has ships. The quarters have ships, and the bar has ships.
So, what the cat and mouse chasing the Nebula? Do you like that? Is that a good thing? Do you like it?
I'm only here doing this for you. Really, I just want you to. The cat and mouse thing. The problem is, I'm just watching Star Trek 2. I really wish I could escape. I've just accepted it.
I'm watching Rafa Khan.
Basically.
Khan, really.
And the fight is drawn out over the course of the episode, of course, so that they can have that massive mistake at the end of the episode, and Riker tells Picard to get off the bridge. I just wish that Star Trek could escape a reference. This kind of Star Trek, could escape a reference, especially when you did it in TNG. I think there was like 2 references in TNG, 2 original series. By the time you get to season 3, 2 or 3, because they just wanted a complete reboot in a way. And I wish this series could just stop giving us nostalgia for everything. Or the problem is it's not giving us nostalgia, but because they've given us so much, you think every scene is going to be a reference to something else. So fighting in a nebula, they can't see each other. Okay, the addition of the changeling is different.
Did you like that? The reveal of that?
So we have to go back to the Worf scene. don't we?
Yeah.
Here's one of the fundamental problems with this series, and that's why in this particular episode, I'm not going to go hard on you or the show. That's why I'm going to ask you some questions in a minute. But
Go hard on me.
no, because I can be really critical, super critical, and
About what?
I want to tone it down a bit because you
What
are
about the
because you are
show?
a casual fan, and there's no point, yeah, on the show
Eh.
and on you, because there's no point getting into huge amounts of detail. But this one scene
Well, I know.
explains the problem with everything overall, so I can nip that in the bud. But
Mm,
basically, Worf says to the Changeling as a reveal, "How long have you been away from the Great Link?"
yeah.
And he's saying that as though that has a bearing on the Changeling's ability to regenerate. When
Right. Okay.
being away from the link doesn't create problems for any changeling. If it did, why would they send out 100 baby changelings in DS9? Because Odo was away from the link for like 30 plus years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't affect him other than he just grew up without an education. And then the Bajoran
Yeah.
scientists re-educated him. So his
Right.
regeneration was based on sitting in a bucket for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And Worf is trying to say that his time away from the Great Link is causing this problem, so that the
Mm,
story can allow the character to then explain things about changelings to Raffi. But the
okay.
problem there is that Raffi was already like 20 something or 30 something when DS9 happened. And she was already in
Right.
Starfleet because she had a career. So she should know what changelings are. So it's now for
Yeah.
us as the audience to be explained to. But
Okay.
everybody who's watching this isn't beginning their life, sorry, they ain't beginning their Star Trek journey with these episodes. They're going to go back and watch previous Star Trek. So that there is the problem. You've got the reference. Okay, it's built on a faulty premise just to get the story chugging along. So that to me is where the show doesn't work. They've got the knowledge, but then they mess it up a little bit with the logic of it, because your time away isn't dependent on your regeneration. And then when you do catch the changeling, are you trying to say that
Yeah.
this particular changeling hasn't changed form not once in the last 18 hours? If supposedly all changelings are like Odo, where they have to regenerate every 18 hours. He didn't become a piece of cardboard. He didn't become like
Yeah.
a wall of something, or he didn't become a piece of
Mhm.
trash just for a couple of hours to
Okay.
rest. He just stays in that
Mhm.
human form. That's the problem I have. And then there's another one on the ship, and that gets even more ridiculous when you get into episode 4. But I digress.
Well, I liked Worf's reaction where it's like, well, I can't keep him. I'm just going to shoot him.
Sorry, I
So-
don't know that.
Oh,
Whoa. Well,
well,
the computer spoke for you.
well, yeah.
And I don't know why
Yeah.
the changeling just doesn't shapeshift. If you remember, even Odo would like throw out his arms and just like knock people over with his arms. He'd create those
Yeah.
sort of ropes that would attack people. The changeling doesn't do that. It just sits there going like he's going through the withdrawal symptoms. just let go.
It's a weird thing, though, 'cause obviously this is catered to a Star Trek audience, but obviously I think it's also trying to cater to a new audience as well. I don't know. With that, I'm thinking that they just sort of try to explain this enemy that we haven't seen before, or the new audience hasn't seen before, and it's just
In a
trying to
way,
over-explain things in a way.
they want
So
the
I mean, you have to
changelings.
take that into consideration.
Yeah, they want the changelings, and in the context, if I ignore that logic, that broken logic,
Mhm.
then it's like, oh,
Mhm.
this is really cool. But then when you
Mhm.
say it's a faction of the Dominion changelings that don't want to be held to account anymore, it's like, hang on, but the changelings are all one entity. When they break up, they have different identities, and then they merge again.
Yeah.
It's just one. It's like one life form when they're all together. So Odo, who is still in the Great Link, we'll assume, who gave everybody the knowledge. Actually, back up a bit. If the female changeling from the end of DS9 is like, you know what, we will surrender, and she accepts the
Yeah.
terms, then why can't all the other changelings? And so when you create a faction, how? They're all linked. It's like a big piece of water says, oh, we're going to do something different now to the rest of the water, and the rest of the water doesn't know what they're thinking. It's like,
They're a terrorist faction, JJ.
But it doesn't work if you're all linked telepathically with the goo.
Yeah.
How can you keep it a secret? And then, are you telling me that if Worf knows this, because
Mhm.
if they're successful in their plan, then they'll start a new
Okay.
Dominion war. But that means that
Right.
Starfleet doesn't know this. But Worf could just tell Starfleet, no, it's a faction, and they've got Odo, who is canonically still alive in the universe, not
Yeah.
obviously the actor. He's still alive. He's trusted. So that he can just explain, no, it's a terrorist faction. It's like, oh, okay, then we won't start a Dominion war. Okay. And if they did,
Yeah.
The Dominion can't send ships through the wormhole because it's fucking Cisco will destroy all the ships. But they can send ships through the wormhole. The Federation can. But why would the Federation do that? It's like I could spend a whole episode just talking about this, but we've got to move on. I'll let you have your say, but I just ah.
I know, but that's opening a bit. I don't know. We're trying to contain the story into what it is right now, because then you're
I
just
know.
branching off into different things. So we've got which obviously the average audience member is going to be like, well, I don't know anything about that. I don't give a shit.
I know. That's why I've got to tone it down
So
because there's two
yeah.
massive pieces of broken logic here I just can't get past. Oh man, just wait till you get to episode 4. Fuck.
It's well, the Nebula is not a nebula, is it? It's
No, it's a womb.
I've got that. Is it a okay, okay. I got the feeling when they started saying it's acting unusual, I thought they're referring to it as like the nebula's acting unusual. So I'm thinking, it was me, obviously, you're a big sci-fi sort of person, you think, oh, it's a living thing. They've got into a living thing. So I saw that sort of coming a mile away as soon as they said it wasn't a nebula and it was reacting strange. I was like, it's like they've gone into a big whale or something.
There was a Voyager episode where they went into a nebula that they thought was a nebula and it was actually a life form.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
kind of similar. So for the Vulcan officer to say, oh, we've never seen anything like this before, it's like, really? 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 I'm doing that Stewie face. I've got the head actually for Stewie, but it's the wrong way. Stewie's head is this way, and my head is this way. But when he's
Did you like anything from this episode? Because I've generally got the general feeling that people, not just myself, like this episode.
Yeah, lots of people liked it. Yeah, sure.
You didn't like this episode. Did you like the Beverly and Picard scene? Was that good? Did that do anything
No,
for
I didn't
you?
like it. Not because,
No?
well, one, it was a bit too wordy, but two, I just don't believe the character of Beverly would do such a thing. Why would she try and raise a child by herself? And since this has loads of throwbacks to modern times, a lot of women think they can do it themselves, and there are a lot of problems in society where a traditional family would solve a lot of those problems if you've got wayward children. So it kind of perpetuates gender stereotypes or the problems within our current modern day society about a woman thinking she can go it alone. And maybe in the 24th century she could, because it's a utopian paradise. So maybe she could, but it's still, I mean, I don't want to sound like a traditionalist or conservative because I'm not, but she's ruined that traditional value that 90% of the people on the planet subscribe to, where it's one man, one wife, and 2.4 children basically.
I didn't get that argument though. I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it like,
I know you didn't.
She was scared of what Picard was or what he is, his characteristics, his lifestyle.
Yeah.
So she did have it was wrong, but she had her points were sort of valid in a strange way. But Picard I was more on his side because it was like, well, why shouldn't he be a part of the kid's life and stuff like that?
Yeah, but she judged him unfairly, and I don't think that was right. And to make it out as though everything centers around Picard in his life, which would ruin everyone else's life, throw their life into discord. I just thought no, because you're trying to make everything happen around Picard, and he's not that character. He's just a Starfleet captain. And then to find out that the son was living in London anyway, which is just like a Eurostar fucking train journey for us British who know the geography. But it's just a train ride away, and he's just living effectively. If aliens wanted to do an orbital bombardment and they want to take out Chateau Picard, I'm sure they'd have a few photons left. And just like, we'll take out that fucking school in London because we know Jack Crusher's there. Just, I mean, I wouldn't mind if Jack Crusher was on fucking Bajor having an education, the furthest possible part away from Picard. But he's the next country. He's a fucking river away. He's an English Channel away.
But he wouldn't know. Would he? You wouldn't know.
The aliens would. The aliens that Beverly was so fearful of, they would know.
Yeah, but they weren't chasing them all their lives, were they?
I have no clue. I just didn't like that scene. I thought it was unfair to Picard. I just thought it was unrealistic from Beverly's for Beverly as a character with her logic. This just didn't make sense in the story when you find out that Jack was in London. So no, I didn't like it.
Well, he had his education there. I don't know when they started tracking these two, but it wasn't them, was it?
I mean, Picard certainly does feel like Patrick Stewart does feel like he's back into the Picard role. I mean, there's that one good point, and it does give the Beverly character something to do. But other than that, sorry, sadly. And I feel such a Scrooge, and I don't want to be a Scrooge. I want to enjoy it, but They just don't get the characters or the plot or the logic, story logic correct. What did you think of people looking out of the window to look for the other ship? Something like that.
Um,
This is just light. He sure even says, "Somebody look out the window and we'll watch out for this fucking Shrike." And then they're
well,
literally,
actually,
looking out of the window, looking. And then the woman
yeah,
says,
yeah,
"There's a ship 3,000 meters away." How the fuck did you eyeball a ship 3,000 meters away in the darkness of space where there's no third point of reference to judge the distance from? How did you feel about that, Adam?
you fucking you think about these things way too much. These stupid details that
Okay,
the
okay,
average audience is not going to give a crap
okay,
about.
okay.
The thing is, what I saw is that no. What I saw is that is they couldn't use their sensors in the nebula. That was the foregone conclusion, right? They couldn't use it. So yes, they were staring out the fucking windows so they could see if the fucking ships were fucking coming. I don't understand what the issue is with that because they couldn't use sensors.
I'll do you
They're a
one
fucking
better.
nebula.
I'll do you one
Yeah.
better. Why
Yeah.
don't they have a camera that can look out the window for them? Why isn't there a digital overlay over these fucking screens, the windows, to judge distances? If you want to say, oh, you're too nitpicky, so why don't you just do an
Because
LCARS
well,
overlay panel?
I don't know the technology of these ships, all right? It might
No,
well
but they
be.
could.
The nebula's affecting it. Yeah, the nebula's
They
affecting
could.
everything. The
What
nebula's
about
affecting it all.
just like a personal camera then? The camera electronics still work on the ship. When you have a camera that's inside the ship, protection of the ship, so that it can judge distances. No,
Inside the ship. Is that what they're going to do? They're going to build cameras inside the ship to look outside the windows. No, you know how ridiculous
3,000
you
meters
sound.
away.
You know.
Fuck off, show.
No, you're judging it. You're nitpicking far too much.
No, I'm not.
Nitpicking way too much.
No, I'm not.
You really are.
No.
Way too much. Come on now.
Okay, so you don't have a problem with
now.
Okay, fine. You don't have a problem with
No.
that. Next question.
I just sit there and think,
Okay, you don't have a problem with it. You've answered the question, right? What did you
Yeah.
think of them shooting a photon torpedo instead of just firing 50 fucking torpedoes?
I thought it was a bit daft where he said, "Yeah, fire everything we've got."
No.
and they
Before
only
that,
fired
before
four.
that. They said they fire one and they say, "Oh, let's just shoot it." Why fire one? Why don't you fire 51 and then shoot them all?
Because why would they do that? It's wasting all the ammunition.
Yeah, but there's your chance to hit it. You're going to pretend to shoot it with one photon torpedo. If they can shoot it, then the fucking Shrike can shoot it, but the Shrike doesn't. And then it creates this
Right,
blast
because-
wave. So you just shoot it with 50 torpedoes.
No, because then what if it wouldn't do anything to it? They said that themselves.
50 torpedoes wouldn't destroy that ship.
They said their weapons would be pretty much useless against that ship because it's too big. It's like a warship.
Right, so you fire one, and then the blast wave from one actually blows it out of the way. I watched it twice. I watched this episode. It was so much better. It was actually better for all my nitpicking that I watched it 2 times. And you see that ship just get thrown to the side. It gets thrown away like Mario fucking throws a fucking turnip from Super Mario 2. It gets lobbed out into the clouds from the concussion of one photon torpedo. You don't have a problem with that.
How many photon torpedoes do they have? They don't have that many, do they?
Well, they've got 5 more. Should we get to that?
No, I think they fired 4.
They fired 1 in that scene and shot it.
Yeah, they fired 1 in that scene, and then they fired 4 at the stupid ship, and then they obviously did that wormhole crap portal thing, and then it hit into the back of their ship.
Right, but before we get into that,
Which
they fire
should have destroyed
1,
them, really.
and they shoot 1 torpedo and they shoot at it, but the Shrike is just
Right.
like, ugh, let's not
Yeah.
shoot it ourselves and then do
Yeah.
a reverse. Let's just sit here and wait for the blast wave.
Because they weren't expecting them to shoot their own torpedo.
Okay, so okay, you don't have a problem with that. Fine. What do you think about the Shrike not using the tractor beam again when at the end of the episode the ship is falling? The Shrike could just pick it up. Jack Crusher is so important that they don't use the tractor beam to just stop the Titan from drifting into the Nebula. What do you think of that? What do you think of that?
The Nebula was affecting their, stupid tractor beam.
Okay. What do you think about the Titan Doctor hating on Beverly?
I thought that was stupid.
Okay, finally, I got a win. It's like, One,
because
one
that
fucking one.
just seemed like it just seemed really forced, and it was like, oh look, Beverly's really good, and you're really shit.
Yeah,
It just gave her sort of a use of like, oh look, Beverly does have her uses. See,
right.
she sees things you don't see.
You know what's interesting? I just thought about this now. So this is how much I didn't think about it, but then now I'm thinking about it. The Doctor
Okay.
is a Trill. She's a member of the Trill species, right? So you would assume that as a Trill, she has dealt with those symbiotes that go inside the Trill. And many times there are problems where you've got to pay attention to the stomach because of the Trill symbiote. So
Okay.
it seems even more implausible that this woman would be less sensitive to concussions that the scanners can't pick up. That's all. I'm going to stop there.
It must drive you insane, because to me, I was just like, no, it's just a normal woman.
This
I know she
show,
was a fucking
yeah.
Trill. I have no idea fucking idea.
Don't forget, I'm writing my own show, and I put so much thought into it, and so it just reflects on the criticisms. It just creates these criticisms
Well,
that I have.
I think like obviously the writers for this show, they probably don't have a lot of knowledge of Trek, which is probably self-evident. I think the writers of TNG and stuff like the past, seasons of Star Trek, they were all like proper novelists and stuff, weren't they?
Yes, actual science fiction
So
writers.
yeah, so they were properly ingrained in it. So they were properly that they treat every episode like a full-fledged like even movie or something. A lot of thought and detail would go into it. So yeah, I think I don't know. I don't think it's fair comparing this to that, because you're not going to get the same result. It is going to be watered down. There is going to be details that have been missed, and there is going to be things that are not going to, like, for a fucking fully fledged hardcore Star Trek fan, you are going to like literally probably be pulling your teeth out. But for like an everyday audience like me, I'm just like, yeah, that looks all right. That's good.
What does Dawn think?
She hasn't watched it. She hasn't watched this. It's just me.
Oh, okay, just you. Okay.
Yeah.
The other question I have, actually, no, I'll tell you something that was good. I'll give you a break. When they feed in the backstory of Riker's dead son into the story to justify the things that Riker is thinking, I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I want to say.
Okay. Well, I like the tension that was created between Picard and Riker. I like that.
I would have liked it more if they flipped it. Picard was always the one that was more cautious. Riker is the one that would actually shoot at a ship with Picard on board, who, as you did do with the Borg cube. Riker is the one that's more gung ho, and they flipped it, and I didn't think that worked.
Okay.
Again, it goes back to the Doctor and Beverly thing. It creates a false sense of discord amongst the characters.
I suppose they flipped it because the whole dynamic of losing his son and stuff like that, and then Picard's obviously got a son, so he's got something to fight for, I guess. And then Riker's like, "Oh, I need to save people. I don't want to be so reckless." I guess that could be perceived as that a way of looking at it.
Yeah, maybe.
These episodes get 8 to 9 million per episode.
What viewers?
No, like budget, it's 8 to 9 million.
Okay.
Which is pretty insane. When we're talking about effects and stuff like that, and like battle damage to the ship, which I would have liked to see more of, because it's been taking a beating, this ship.
Yeah, you'll see that in episode 4.
You are seeing actual battle damage now from the actual.
Yeah.
Lots,
they remember to render in the damage. What else do you want to share?
I don't know. I feel like you just shoot everything down.
No, I'm not shooting everything down. You've shot all my fucking questions down except for one. You're like, you think about it too much. And it's like, okay, maybe I do. That's why I can't enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I mean, I'd be probably the same if I was like dead hardcore into Star Trek or into something like that. I probably would be thinking as like you would be, but because I don't have that knowledge, I'm kind of like, it's good. It's this. I have a limited knowledge of Star Trek. I'm not like, I don't know every single minute detail.
I know, but I don't think you should dismiss a lot of my criticism just because I'm hardcore into Star Trek. A lot of it is because of Star Trek, yes, but when you know any story well enough, you should be able to understand the logic of the story to an extent doesn't flow properly. Just like I
Oh
didn't know
yeah.
much about Game of Thrones, but I understood by seasons 6, 7, and 8, the story wasn't making sense. But I never read the books.
I feel like the guy who's doing helming this season now, it's a bit of a shit task. Like I said before in the previous episodes we've had, it's like he's got to sort of either retcon or repair the damage that was done in the previous 2 seasons, and then try and fit in all of this kind of story in 10 episodes, and then trying to have it make sense, but also trying to keep the fan base sort of happy, adding elements that are going to obviously, yeah, Easter eggs are fucking a bit overdone these days, but yeah, add them in just for like shits and giggles, because some of them are there just for that, just for fan service. And it must be quite difficult to sort of, it's a difficult balance. Also, you've got the writers that probably don't know much. You've probably got the studio as well that's probably trying to interject some bullshit into whatever's been
Yeah,
said or put out. I
always a
can't. I
factor.
don't know. It must be quite difficult. I think the guy who's doing it, like I said before, I think if they gave him a separate show to do from scratch, it might be better. It might hold promise.
He did do a 12 Monkeys series. It's supposed to be
That
good.
was okay. Well, yeah, the
I haven't
movie was
watched it,
alright. Yeah.
but that's not Star Trek,
I
and you
haven't
can do
watched that.
anything you want inside that universe. There is another thing I wanted to, because we've only got like 8 minutes left. Do you remember the bar scene where they do the face de-aging between Riker and Picard? That scene explains the whole 17 seconds, which is the title of this episode. And then later
Yeah.
in that same episode, there is supposedly 17 seconds where Picard is going to find out whether Jack has died or not.
Yeah.
I don't like episodes that set up something that's instrumental in the same episode. And sadly, episode 4 does the same thing. There's something that they set up that is a flashback to something that happens in the episode. And
Mm.
Picard season 1 used to do this as well. There was a flashback that would set something up. It's really, I
Yeah.
think that's really lazy from a writer's perspective. I think that's really lazy. But I did like the bit in that scene where Riker says, "Don't you ever want to have a son?" Hang on, Picard is like 70 years old. Do you not think he's past his prime? I know it's
Also,
24th
but I know
century.
something about I
Yeah,
know
go
something
ahead.
about that though. Didn't in a TNG episode, didn't he already have a son and raised in a
Right.
family in a holodeck thing? In a holodeck?
He
Yeah.
gets his brain gets hijacked by a satellite, and he lives a whole life in like 30 minutes. That
Yeah.
just seems to be overlooked by all the writers from all 3 seasons. He had a son,
Yeah.
and it has no impact
Yeah.
on him. Think about the trauma. The trauma of his mother supposedly affects him more in season 2 than living an entire fucking life from TNG than it does now in that timeline. Doesn't track, does
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember that thinking, who's
Okay.
done that? I remember. I don't know why it made me remember that, but I was like, oh yeah, I remember that sort of thing happening. We were having that conversation. And I was like, wait, he's done that.
Yeah. The bit where Deanna, though, she says, "Bring the whiskey," and Riker leaves the bar and he doesn't take the whiskey with him.
I want her to come back into it, but obviously she's on the planet, so she won't be coming back anytime
She
soon.
will.
But
She will. There's
what do
been
you
some
reckon?
there's been some trailers where they talk about their problems together, face to face.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Have you got anything else to say?
Only the random thing of, is Romulan ale illegal again?
It's on and off, isn't it? I mean, there's no Romulan Star Empire, so why would it still be illegal? I don't.
I know
Don't get it.
it'd be more pricey now because there's none of it to be fucking manufactured because the whole planet got destroyed.
Right. Well, one star system destroyed their entire empire. They must have
Yeah.
over centralized their government. I do have one little thing to say. You know the Bajoran helmsman of the Titan?
Yeah.
You know he's Bajoran, right? You noticed. He's wearing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
earring and he's got the nose ridge.
Yeah.
Riker didn't say anything about his earring, and I'm like, okay, he's learned something since meeting Ensign Rowe. But that Bajoran says, "My God." It's like, why don't you say by the prophets or something? Why did you say my God? People on Twitter are like, he's half human. But if he's half human, why is he wearing all the Bajoran garb? Just like when you've got black people who are half black, but they only support black culture. Well, I'm half black. I can say what I want about black culture. But yeah, but what about defending white culture? But you never do. Just like that fucking, who's that Formula race car driver? The black guy.
Well, Hamilton.
Yeah, he always supports black
Mm.
issues, but he keeps saying I'm half black. It's like, yeah, okay, visually you are clearly some kind of stew, but you never seem to want to be pro-white in saying anything.
Yeah.
Race is a spectrum, Adam. That's the point. We're both mixed race anyway.
Let's just talk about the episode again, but we're going to
Yeah, go on,
fucking
no,
race
go on.
politics.
No. We'll save the
What
race
about
stuff for the normal loose rants episode. Go on, what?
What about the stupid Doctor Strange weapon? What's going on with that? That's not the real weapon, is it? That's
Right. It is. I mean,
it's the weapon, but not the real threat weapon. It's the
I
weapon
know.
that's distracting us from the real weapon.
This is just the
That
fucking
plot.
entree. When you see what happens to that weapon in episode 4, it's like, what the fuck? But
And they still
they,
reiterated the fact that there was only 117 people died. I was like, no, how? Why do they keep saying that?
I don't know, but they use it in this episode, episode 3, and it's like, okay, it's kind of dramatic. And then in the time that they've trapped the Titan, effectively they've put it in a loop. They don't fire on it. They don't do anything. They just show off the weapon, and it allows the Titan to escape. But why are you allowing them to escape? You just shoot them,
Yeah.
knock out the engines, and then you capture Jack Crusher. There's so many opportunities to get what you want. Vadik can, and they don't do it. It's just like we're just waiting for them to take their chance, and they don't.
Yeah, I did find that scene bizarre when they would kept them going through it, and then they would appear again, and then they through it and appear again. I was like, well, what's going on here then? Just disable them. I thought that myself when I was watching it, like, just disable their engines. Surely that would be the logical thing to do.
Which Picard does at the end. Which we've only got 2 minutes left, but did you agree that Riker said, "You've just killed us all, get off the bridge"? Did you agree with that way of phrasing it?
No, I don't think so, because I don't think he'd say that to him. But I suppose, I don't know, in the moment he's angry, but then it's like, well, you made the call, and it was the right, because you had no other option about what to do.
Yeah.
So it's either like fight or just surrender and get taken over. So at that point, it's like, well, yeah, you're gonna have to do what he said to do, because you had no other option at that point. And then I was easy to know that like, the torpedo's gonna come back on them and hit them again. I was like, oh crap. But again, though, I thought that would have wiped them out. The ship was already battle damaged as it was. That would have really destroyed them, wouldn't it? I'd have like full at the rear of them. That would have at least heavily disabled the ship. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Was a bit like, I was like, that would have completely fucked them.
Oh, well, I'll tell you another thing I did like in the last 90 seconds of this episode is that the woman who plays the Vulcan played a really good Vulcan.
Oh yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
That's how much I like paying to these paying attention to these details. Like, it was actually a proper Vulcan, but in episode 4 I see another Vulcan hugging this guy, and I'm like, you fucked up now, bro, with your characterization. A different Vulcan is like hugging this human, and it's just like a quick second I caught it. It was like, that's not a Vulcan. It must be like a secret Romulan.
It's a half and half again.
Yeah, half cast, like fucking.
Yeah.
Who'd you say? What did you say? David Hamilton. What's his
Lewis
name?
Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton.
I don't know his name. I don't know his name, and it's not because he's black. I just live in Hong Kong, okay?
Not important. No one likes Formula One.
Right, let's leave it there. That was a bit of a slapdash of an episode, but I think we got a lot out of it.